Hello everyone, I began this series with the overly optimistic assumption that at some point, hopefully mid-September, the summer games drought would give way to the lush rains of autumn. So far this has not been the case. Right now I'm beginning to feel like a mid-80s Ethiopian farmer who'd settled for a passing pervert with a piss fetish. Welcome to the Steam Rundown for October 2018. The 1st through 5th of October might be a good time to make that appointment you've been putting off for your grandmother with Dignitas. If she's been looking for a game on Steam for the last 3 months, she'll welcome the opportunity with open arms. And the cat will also be happy not to be continuously falsely accused of peeing all over the furniture. Of course, with Halloween on the horizon, every failed dev is dropping trowel and squirting out the latest movement in the magnificent opus of scath that forms their career. On the topic of smelly things covered in shite, there's a survival game releasing on the 5th called Bomb Simulator. I presume you win the game as soon as you have the ability to drink undiluted rubbing alcohol and inject heroin into the vein on your cock. The 6th, 7th and 8th are more depressing than a Samaritan's Best Calls tape, but one game did amuse me. The title is Criminal Pursuit Force, probably because Google Translate fucked up and didn't spit out the word police. If you're planning on hunting down furries, may I recommend Hollow Points and a high-capacity magazine. There's also a nice window on the calendar for it from the 9th through 15th. If you're looking for a flight simulator where everything looks like it's covered in spunk, there's one releasing on the 11th. There's also a Trek Wars strategy game for all you aspiring Jedi releasing on the 12th. Closet prostitute murderers will be delighted to know there's another truck driving game releasing on the 12th. The 15th and 16th are equally dismal, the only highlight being the release of a LEGO DC Supervillains game. At least children and nonces will be encouraged to see their demographic being catered to by Steam. I'd love to be able to tell you that as the month progresses, October gets much better, but I'd be lying through my fucking teeth. I'd also be lying if I said October on Steam was the same as September on Steam, because the retarded porn developers of September have been largely replaced by the equally retarded horror developers of October. So to sum up, the end of October on Steam looks about as fun as cleaning up the results of a mass prolapse at an old folks' home. Before I move on to the highlights, I must point out one very great caveat. I'm using the word highlights loosely, the same way one would loosely use the word conversation after being cornered by a fucking conspiracy theorist at a party. Have you ever dreamed of staging sword fights between wanky characters somebody made up years ago and nobody cares about, and a character that was popular from a movie or game 4 or 5 years ago? Well, neither have I. For those of you who are too far along the autism spectrum to play with trains, Soul Calibur VI releases on the 16th. And this time Bandai Namco have raided the petty cash drawer and rented Geralt from the Witcher series for an evening. All I can say is it's going to be a bleak winter for the back alley rent boys of Tokyo. Our next highlight looks a little bit more original and interesting. The premise is that you and a group of friends, don't get excited, they're just other players, have to rescue another friend who's being held in a neighbour's basement. This neighbour has nefarious, probably Catholic priest-like intentions towards your friend, so time is of the essence. The big kicker is, of course, that either you or one of your team is secretly Rolf Harris. Can you tell who it is yet? Our final highlight is here for the simple reason that during October on Steam, Cthulhu games are about as endemic as a dose of gonorrhea on a ship that recently docked in Manila. And this particular Cthulhu game doesn't look as bad as all the others. So if you're a fan of Cthulhu or you're just trying to wean yourself off tentacle porn, this game may be for you. The game I've been failing at in the background is Assetto Corsa Competizione. At the time of recording it's in very early access, so it only has one track, one car and a few teams to choose from. I've been enjoying the hell out of it, but I'm a total casual when it comes to racing games. As always with early access, it's a bit of a gamble and everything is subject to change. And if you don't like waiting for things, you're better off waiting until it's finished. All I can add is, so far, the game is pretty damn good. I'll leave you with the fervent and probably futile hope that November will shape up to be a better month than October on Steam. Maybe if you're religiously inclined you could, I don't know, slaughter a goat or throw some virgins in a volcano to that end, or whatever strange perverted shit you religiously inclined people get up to at your places of worship.